Mr. Black Panther, that was a big one from the heart. Well done. I think Nigeria Watch is busy. That was a big one for the heart. I want to quickly say this little one before I go for my webinar. I have a webinar coming up in a few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Nigeria Watch, Mommy Diaspora, Mr. Black Panther, and give us our mandate. Good afternoon for our listeners and those who are contributing to make this platform, more alive. So thank you very much. Mr. Elvis, I thank you also for your faith and commitment to this. I know it's not easy. You really want to, because there's something that the Free said a few days ago. I just stumbled on this video that the Free said. He said whenever it comes up and it makes a video, something that with a strong message that will inspire people. See, sometimes when it goes back to look at the view will be little. He said there was over a day he made a video that he preached a message that day. It was a very sound message. That the amount of money he made from the video was just $1. Say, but when he posted a video with him and Abba Forest in Lagos, where they were driving the Ferrari and just doing all those things, say, he got hundreds of thousands of views and he made lots of money. And what did that tell? What did that tell us as a person? The message of that video, what he said was, Nigerians are not interested in the messages that will transform them. Nigerians love to play. That's the truth. Nigerians love to play. So when someone is coming out, you're doing this and you're trying to just educate the Nigerian people to know who they are, like Black Panther just spoke about, for people to truly wake up. I think what Patrick Obayagbo referred to as it's an introspective revolution. That's a revolution that you wake up to a self-realization, to know who you are. Nigerians don't like it. It's unfortunate that we are still where we are. Some other countries, they come together, they stand. Like I was watching the Moye show yesterday. I said, you don't need anyone to lead Nigerians into a protest, or I think that was how he said. So Nigerians should know what they want. But still, they're still waiting for someone to lead them. And according to Black Panther, it's not, God will not, I've always said it before, God will not do for us what we must do for ourselves. I'm where I am today because I decided to be I've decided to come here. Yes, well, everybody always we have to thank God to say, God, thank you for being alive. Thank you for strength. That is normal. We have to do that. It's in everything, give thanks. That's okay. But where you are today, you are there because you wanted to get there. You have your qualifications because you went to a role and you studied to have them. You have this thing because you actually worked. Yes, while you were doing it, blessing comes. It comes from everybody. Be you Muslim, Christian, whatever. Blessing goes to the same rain and sun shines on everybody. But at least the first step was you made up your mind to be there. You made up your mind to be successful. The success came to you. President Jonathan said, you cannot wake up a person who is pretending to be asleep. Nigerians still need to know that if we don't speak and come together against these few people, Nigeria is more than 200 million people. We just have very few set of people that are ruling the country at the expense of the mass majority of Nigerians. These few people don't care. They don't care. Just a few days ago, the law, President Tinubu'S assented to a bill from the parliament. And we all, of course, know the legislative process of how a bill should go before it becomes law, from the first reading, second reading, committee stage, and for the president to assent to it, and then it takes 30 days. There have to be some reviews. But he signed it because, to me, there was no legislative process in that. Everything is still done by, even though these people are wearing the civilian cloth, they come in with a pose of democratic system, but it's still more like a tyranny to me. Because at the end of the day, you have a president, you have the legislators who bow to the authority of the man as rock. There's no democracy there. This is why I love the UK. In the UK, you see a person who is every Wednesday, 12 p.m. every Wednesday. The Prime Ministerial question in the UK, I love to watch it. I've been following that since the time of Tony Blair. I've been following the Prime Ministerial questioning. When I have time, I always watch it. You see, when the Prime Minister will come, the oppositions are there. They will give. I remember Tony Blair with John Howard as at that time. Then Charles Kennedy, who was the head of the Liberal Democrats. Then later, Charles Kennedy was replaced by Nick Clegg. I always follow them. You see, they sit down, and then you also saw where they had the Hung Parliament. That to me is democracy. Then you see people who are in the same party with the Prime Minister. They will look at the Prime Minister and say, no, your policy is no longer a policy that the British people, that is serving the interest of the British people. They will pass a vote of no confidence. And the Prime Minister will be removed. That is democracy. When people if nobody can speak in the political party, just because everybody has to bow to the man in Aso Rock or the man in the government house, that's no democracy. So when we keep saying we don't have democracy yet. We don't. We have to look for a name to call the system of government we are practicing in Nigeria. This is not democracy. Democracy in a sane environment is not wrong like this. It's not. When everybody have to bow, you see senators going to kneel down before the president. That's not democracy. And people must understand these things that for those who are Christians, who read the Bible, I'm a Christian, I go to church. I am not a religious person, but I'm one who has a relationship. And my relationship is informed by studying of the scriptures. That is just what I do. Because religion is how it's all categorized. So by trying to place them under a category, so you have to use religion. So, okay, are you a Christian? You're a Muslim? Then under the Christian, they ask you, are you Catholic or you Anglican, you Presbyterian, you Methodist, you Lutheran? So you have to then, or you have to then choose where you belong. So it's just the classification process. But then, in the Bible, in Genesis, when God made man, God gave man dominion. He gave man dominion. So when I was speaking some time ago, I said, someone said the heart of a king is the heart of a king is in the hand of God. I said the heart of a king. That is the heart of a king in the Old Testament. Because sometimes people make statements that doesn't really connect to the modern reality. If you look at how God were dealing with the kings in the Old Testament, you have to read from the book of Genesis down to when God lay covenant with Abraham. The covenant went down to Jacob, the son of Jacob, who became, Joseph, that went to the house of, Pharaoh, where first of all, when you went to prison. So you have to look at the covenant, then Moses. So that covenant was still reaffirmed. The covenant has sworn to your father Abraham, has sworn to Isaac, has sworn to Jacob. The covenant was still there. But then, man, we have a choice. That is why we are different from angels. So when people begin to make comments about the heart of a king, the heart of Tinubu is still in the hands of God. Tinubu is not a king. Tinubu is there because Nigerians, out of our naivety and the cowardice of the Nigerian people, is why that man is still there. So democracy, going to vote is an exercise of you exercising your dominion power, because God gave man dominion to dominate the earth. So you exercise your franchise by voting is part of your dominion power. You also coming out to organize yourself to say enough is enough. It's also part of your dominion power. Because anything that has to do with man making a selection, God is not involved in it. In the time of old, in the Bible, for those who understand scriptures, when God were appointed kings, God did not seek any man's approval or man's validation. When God, in the book of Samuel, when he sent Samuel to the house of Jesse to go and anoint David to become king, when Samuel got to the house of Jesse, he saw Eliab and David's brother, and looked at them. He saw their stature and everything. Samuel actually liked them. He was going to, and God said no. He said, for thou seest the outward appearance. He said, but I, the Lord, I sees the heart. And Samuel had to ask Jesse. He said, are these your only sons? He said, yes. He said, but there's one. He said, go and fetch him. That's how God works. So those were the kings whose hearts were in God's hands. Not the leaders we have today. So
thank you, my brother. Preach to them, to those religious people. Preach to them, let them hear it.
The leaders we have today, their heart is not in God's hands. Let's stop saying nonsense. People come, stop preaching. A man who has manipulated the system, has rigged himself into power, has declared false victory. After election, you go to church and they say, "Oh, God has." Who told you God made him? Who told you God made him a leader? As soon as we say, well, whatever happens, and if God does not approve it, God did not approve it. Let me tell you something. Samuel would have anointed one of David's brothers. But because Samuel was a prophet that was obedient to the word of God, that's why Samuel went ahead. He had to wait for David to come and he poured the oil on David's head. He was going to anoint. Imagine if Samuel have ended up anointing one of David's brothers. That's why I always say this. I say we need to understand when people keep making these references. No, when God chooses, that's different. That's the reason why countries that practice monarchy, they will tell you that in UK, there's what they call I've forgotten how they refer to it now. There are two things. Forgotten. It just escaped me now. Now, it's a reference made to the Prime Minister and the British monarch. Now, the British monarch is answerable to God. The Prime Minister is answerable to the people. Because I've forgotten the term they use for it. Because the Prime Minister is elected by the people. While the British monarch is ordained by God, according to the system of monarchy. That's in many countries. They'll tell you the king is ordained by God. Now, the Prime Minister can be removed. The act of the Prime Minister is not in the hand of God. You see, the act of the Prime Minister is to serve the people that elected him. He's a servant to the people. So whoever sits in Aso Rock is not a deity. Whoever sits in Aso Rock is not a king. And that's why I love one day when Rufa Hosseini had to correct Dr. Ruben Abati, where he was saying, well, President Tinubu is a king. Rufa said, no, he's not a king. He was elected by the people, and his duty is to serve the people. He's not a king. Because this mentality that we have in Africa today, that's the reason why most of these governors and these presidents, they are so spoiled, they are so corrupt, they are so insane because they think they have people that come to bow to them. No. And let me just go a bit into the video a few days ago when a traditional ruler came from the East. He spoke and he also made reference to Nnamdi Kanu. I love what the man said. He said Nnamdi Kanu's counterpart, Sunday Igboho, will soon be given a title. He said, now, Sunday Igboho will be given a title very soon, while Nnamdi Kanu is still in prison. Now, for me, as a Benin man, I've said it before, my connection to Nnamdi Kanu is because of the state of his arrest. Everything should be done with rule of law, with justice, equity, and fairness. Because we do not have a country that operates with this tenet, so it's still a problem. And we all know that there's something between the Fulani Kabas and our Eastern brothers. But unfortunately, all the Eastern billionaires, none of them have come out to say Nnamdi Kanu should be released with one voice. Now, the same way the Western billionaires went behind closed door to rally around to make sure Sunday Igboho was protected. So I leave that. But that man said something. The Southern Traditional Council, of what purpose is it? Of what purpose? There's one thing that we do. It's hypocritical, and it's also very, very is some sort of the display of violent arrogance. But we do it, we kind of diplomatically do it to make people feel like we are one. We are not one. You come together. You say you are the head of the traditional council you are the permanent head of the Southern Traditional Council. Who made you? Of what historical relevance is it? And of what political developmental purpose is it? You combine everybody. You think all traditional rulers from the South are now under you. For what? For what purpose? And I'm so happy that no one from Edo State went to that event. For what purpose? If you really want to have respect, see, Nigeria will become a better country where we have mutual respect for one another. If you truly want to have these things, Northern Traditional Council, Southwest Traditional Council, South Traditional Council, Southeast Traditional Council. This Southern Traditional Council is still part of the political arrangement that still makes some feel they are more relevant than others. And how can that work in a country as divided as Nigeria? Nigeria is one country with many nations. If I slap you, I come tomorrow, I say, oh, my brother, let's be one. We have to do this together. We have to live in unity. I slap you a day after again. I say, come again to hug you. We have to do this together. I don't care to know. I'm so insensitive to know if you are happy or not. But I expect that you should always accept me whenever I come to you. Irrespective of the pain I'm inflicting in you, there's something is wrong somewhere. That's exactly what is happening in Nigeria. And from the political class of the Nigerian people, they don't care. They don't care if the Nigerian people are happy or they are not happy. They don't care if the Nigerian people are frustrated or they are not frustrated. They don't care if the Nigerian people are in hunger or they are not. They don't care. They only care about their interest. They don't care if the Nigerian people, if you truly love Nigeria, if you truly love Nigeria, let the rule of law have its place. If you truly love Nigeria, let them vote a leader of their choice. If you truly want Nigeria to work, let you love the country. I'm so connected. I've been away for many years. I've been traveling since the 90s. The first time I traveled out of Nigeria was 1995 with my parents. I started traveling myself from the year 2000. I have a lot of stake back home. I have investment back home. I have the investment I inherited from my mother. I also have investment. And now I'm putting together, now I have almost 122 workers that have to take salary every month. Some of them are from the companies that are inherited. Some of them are also companies that are also set up. So these people look up to me. So 122 families that I have to feed every month. That is not a joke. So I have a huge interest back home. So when I'm speaking, I'm still speaking because I still have something that I believe I have a stake back home, and I also want Nigeria to work, because if you work, you also work for me, you also work for my children, and I also work for millions of Nigerians out there. But these people, they don't see it, they don't see it that way. They don't. The inflation rate is so high, they don't see it that way. Over the few senators that came out to vote against that I was looking, I didn't see the Benin senator, Imaswef, that was voted in under the Labour Party. He was not even one of them. I was looking, I said, where is that man's name? It's not there. I just pray that man doesn't get elected again, because that man is the most useless senator right now in the house, that Benin senator. The one that mistakenly, he was just, Peter Obi was the reason why nobody knew him before the election. Because people were just voting Labour, and he just won. So no one even knew if he was campaigning, and it was a mistake of a senator. A senator that doesn't know his right as a senator. Because of re-election, people become idiots. If I become a senator today, I don't care if I'm re-elected. For that 4 years I was spending in that house, if they want to keep suspending me, let them keep suspending me. My motion must be my motion. My voice must be my voice. This re-election is the reason why whoever comes to power today, we want to amount billions because they want to get re-elected. If I should change the Nigerian constitution today, I'll do it to only one term. That term will be just 5 years. Then nobody serves 2 terms anymore. But then people will have common sense. Because this re-election is the reason why today they are trying to manipulate every system for 2027, because Tinubu wants to come back. These people are not leaders, they are rulers. And I said, the Nigerians are not leaders. Because a leader understands service. A leader understands the people you are leading. But we are rulers. We are tyrants in nature. And it's going to come back to hit us. Because there's no way you can continue to push. They say if you drive a goat. If you chase a goat to the fence, when you get to the fence, it will turn back and face you with his horn. Nigerian people are angry right now. Yes, even though many of them right now, they don't know how to coordinate themselves to come together and stage a full protest. But there's so much anger in the land. There's frustration in the land. The leaders know that. They are all hiding their children. Wike is bringing his son now. Looking for a way to how when you look at it, so you see security around him. If you have to have security around yourself in the country, then all is not well. You travel abroad, you don't have security around yourself abroad. You go to the UK, you stay in your house. There's no big fence in your house in the UK with police all over the place. But you go to Nigeria, you live like you are like one who is living in a barrack. Then there's a problem, which means you are not even free in your country. So if you have the opportunity to do the right thing, why not do the right thing? Why not do the right thing? That was a righteousness exalts a nation. For those of you now who don't understand why you go to church, righteousness exalts a nation. The book of Leviticus says, hold on to a land for those who trade their children for prostitution. Hold on. It's a cost to that land when people do not understand how to position your children properly. When you as a leader, you rule at the expense of the people, that to the detriment of the people. There's a curse upon your head. You think you are free? Look at many of them. Look at their children. They end up being wayward. Many of them are on drugs all over Europe and America. Do you know the curse upon their head? You think the Nigerian people who are living in pain, those people who you've stolen their commonwealth to enrich yourself, you think all will be well with you? People do not understand. We need to know that vengeance starts now. You have to reap what you sow while you are still alive. Some of them, they go through it while they are still alive. They don't have to die before they begin to see the curses start happening in their family. So if they want to steal 2027, let them steal it. But they need to understand something, that Nigeria is coming very soon. Not only the people that are living in the rural area, or those that don't have money, Nigeria will happen to. Nigeria is going to happen to everybody. Nigeria will happen to everybody. Them that are there on the top, them that are in the middle, those are at the bottom, Nigeria will happen to everybody. You cannot rule a country like that of more than 200 million people. Countries that have Black Panther are talking about those that had revolution in other countries. It was not a bloody revolution. The country separated. Yes, we thank God for that. That happened back in the days, but the kind of bitterness we have in Nigeria today, I doubt if we can have a separation that will be that peaceful with the way the country is right now. I doubt. You have someone tell you that the oil in the south belongs to the Nigerian people, but the gold did not belong to few of them in the north. You have people who tell you that Nigeria belongs to the north, the south belongs to the north. You have someone who all the oil well in the south. How many of them are owned by Southerners? Have you asked yourself that? All the oil wells in the south are owned by Apologisies in the north. What the Southerners are getting are crumbs. And I don't blame, I blame the governors, the senators from the south, all of them. In fact, they are the biggest idiots. If someone is coming to steal from your home, you that comes from that same place, you are then going to need that to the person that steals from your home to give you crumbs for what he's stealing from your own home. You are the biggest of all idiots. You are, amongst men, most miserable. So Nigerians, we need to understand that let this anger in us, let this propel us to come together to say enough is enough. Let this be a wake-up call for us. If we truly want to see Nigeria again, or we just want to continue to sit down and just clap for them, they will drive big cars and pass, and we just say, hey, that's what you want to do. Continue. A lady I watched a sermon just now by one lady, Funke Adejumo. She was saying, if you don't want to go to heaven, go to hell. She came up, I watched the message, saw so much boisterous exaggeration of arrogance. And I said to myself, we don't have Christianity anymore in Nigeria. What we have is gospeltainment. It's become entertainment. Is this Christianity? Go and read the Bible. When Christ came to the temple, when the people they were trading in the temple, at that time, people who were gambling in the temple were not poor people. Poor people cannot gamble. Those were wealthy people at that time. Those were rich people at that time. What did he do? He did not say, oh, I am Christ. Okay, you people have to stop this. No, he was angry. He destroyed everything. Today, how many of the preachers today can speak to those elites in power? How many of them? If the preachers come together with the people to say enough is enough, I'm telling you that there'll be a revolution in Nigeria. How many of them today speak? When the Bible says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Who are the righteous in power? You think it's only by your political power? When the righteous rule politically, when the righteous rule economically, when the righteous rule religiously, when the righteous rule traditionally, people rejoice. It comes from different circles, not only political leaders. Today, do you hear them speak? Because many of them, they use their ministry to claim money, to take money abroad. They're all involved in all sorts of shady businesses. Or the only thing you hear about them is this one is fighting that. I said one day, I said the most noisiest Christians in the world are Nigerian Christians. We speak like we know more than every human being on earth. But we are the most visionless. We don't have the balls to fix our country. Everybody want to come to Europe to say God has sent me to come and open a church in Europe. Like I said to one guy one day in Canada, I said, why did God send you to Canada to start a church? Why not Somali? Why not Sudan? It's only Canada. People are coming to the place with hard currency. Why is God not sending you to Eritrea? Okay, are you saying God is not interested in people in Eritrea to become Christians? So God is not interested in people in Sudan to become Christians? Only in Europe, God has sent me. I want to come and change this land. Change this land for what? Did they tell you they need a change in their land? Did they tell you they're hungry for you to come and preach to them? People in Sudan, go there. There are more people there. Go there. Go and start evangelism there. They will know you are serious. Volubility is not, it's not an asset. We talk too much. We are so loud, but we can't even come together to demand what we want for our country. We become like empty vessels, making so much noise. I'll pause for now because this is not irritate me. Thank you.